Hey guys, happy Friday. I know I usually do these on Mondays and Thursdays. We just had a little funky schedule this week. Hey Lexi. Guys, if you're hopping on, drop down if you have been on this before. Just drop me some emojis. If you have not been on these, drop me down the word newbie. I always like to see who has been on this and who has not. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, Tina. Oh, wait. So I want to hop right into this. I like these to be as concise as possible and not to be like all over the place. Hey, Tina. If you guys want to share this, you're more than welcome to. Definitely don't have to. Drop me down a 1 if you have a pen and paper. Drop me down a 2 if you're just here to listen and see what this is all about and then decide if you want to do the exercise. And either one is fine. So if you are ready to do this, drop me down to 1. We're going to get started. If you're just listening in, trying to see what this stuff is all about, drop me down a 2. That's another reason that I wanted to do this, Tina, a little bit later on a different day, just see if more people could tune in live. Because I've had a lot of people tell me that it's hard to get on the 9 o'clock ones because they work full time. Now, obviously, I have a lot of homeschool moms on my page, so we're all on at 9 o'clock in the morning. But I figured I would switch it up a little bit and just see if I could get a few more people able to tune in live. I know a lot of y'all watch the replay, and that's awesome. But it's just fun to be on live and like interact, and it's a little bit different than watching the replay. You want to say hi? All right, come on. All right, we got a special guest. Want to say hi real quick, and then we'll get going. Quickly, please. She's
hi.
All girl right here, guys. Mwah. Okay, first thing I want you to write down. Now, keep in mind, we are talking specifically about money today. I was doing my devotions this morning, and this just kind of popped in my head, and then the little devotional and journaling session all just came rushing in, kind of came together. I was pretty excited about it. So first thing I want you to write down is, why do you give? So specifically talking about money, think about any time that you give money to somebody else, whether that be an organization, whether that be another person, whether that be you go out and you bought clothes for somebody's kids. I want you to write down, why do you give to other people? And you can write some words, some sentences, a paragraph, whatever you want to write. Aw, thanks, Kat. Gloria, she said you're beautiful. Ooh, Savannah said hi. She's so excited. She prayed specifically for you and Janice this morning. You and Savannah, you and Janice, to go diamond and triple diamond. So I think she skipped a few steps in there, but she prayed diamond and triple diamond for both of you. So some of those feelings could include that, some of those reasons could include that it makes you feel good. Like, that's a valid reason, right? We feel good when we give. It could be because you have compassion. Like, you see a need and you fill it. It could be because you want to inspire other people to give. And we'll talk all about those when we start the quick little devotional that goes with this. When you are done writing down your reasons, so the question is, why do you give? Drop me a 3 in the comments when you're finished writing, just so I can go on to the next one. And by the way, one of those reasons could be because you like the attention. Now, I'm not saying only write down the good reasons. This is where you get honest and nitty-gritty with yourself. Why do you give? Is it because you want people to know that you give? Which I would be lying if I said I had never been in those shoes, because I have been. All right, so a lot of 3s. We're ready to go on. With that question, though, if you are brave enough to answer, how many of you have ever done a good deed or given money or anything because you wanted to be praised for it? And guys, I'm raising both my hands because absolutely I am human. I think that's a human thing to do, and it's something we have to work on. No, we're not talking. But I think that's just such an easy thing to fall into. Oh, thank you, y'all. I'm glad that you love my hair. I will just be honest, I have not washed it in 4 days. So I was just thinking, I was like, oh, my hair's kind of looking a little greasy up there. Like I use dry shampoo, but tomorrow's a wash day. So I appreciate it. I'm glad that it still looks good 4 days later. But yeah, all that to say, I think it is a very easy thing to fall into, that we like attention and we like people to know the good deeds that we get, and like that's why we do them. I'm not saying everybody all the time. I'm saying I think that's an easy thing to fall into. So the next thing I want you to write down is just write down the question, do I love money? Do I love money? Now with this, I'm not saying, do you love money? Like, do you like it? Do you enjoy it? I'm saying, do you love it as in, do you almost make it a priority over most other things in your life? And there's 3 tests that you need to basically hold up to yourself. And this is something you're only going to be able to be honest with yourself. Like no one, well, I shouldn't say that. It is easy to see to the extreme if somebody loves money, but there are plenty of small ways that it's hard to tell unless we live with you or we are you if someone loves money. So the first test is, does it monopolize your thoughts? Do you think about getting more and more money more than you think about anything else? If you do, that's a telltale sign that you probably love money, not in a good way. Like you almost make it an idol. A couple examples of that is if I'm always thinking of how can I make more money to get nicer shoes? How can I make more money to get a bigger house? How can I make more money to get a bigger car? And again, I'm not saying any of those things are wrong, but if that's constantly what you're thinking about, like you're never content, you're never grateful for what you have, that's a bad sign. Now on the flip side, if you're thinking, how can I make more money so I can give more to this person? Oh man, I really want to provide Christmas for this family. How can I make a little more money to do that? Oh wait, that's not what I'm talking about. Again, you in your heart have to look inside. Is it a selfish reason that you love money, or is it a good reason? And then also, again, to the extreme, even if it's a good reason, if you're constantly thinking about it, all you think about is how to make more money, you're probably on the dangerous side. Money is not evil. The love of money is evil. And that's one misconception. That's one thing I wanted to specifically talk about today. So I'm glad that you made that comment, because that is such a widespread comment, especially around Christians. Money is evil. Money is evil. No, money is not evil. The love of money is the root of all evil. So that is definitely something that is a huge misconception, especially in the Christian world. And again, we'll get in more into that in the devotional side, because this is not the devotional side. So does it monopolize your thoughts? The second thing is, does it monopolize your time? Now, hear me out. How many of y'all work 8, 10, 12 hours a day? And we're specifically going to talk about your time with your family and with God versus, and I'm not talking about sitting in front of a television after work, y'all. Your family and with your God versus your time that you spend making money. Now, there's a difference between making money for stuff that you need. You need a house, but you don't need a $500,000 house. You need a car. You don't need a $350 car payment because you wanted a luxury car. I would say you need a phone, but you probably don't need a $1,000 phone. Most of you don't need Wi-Fi unless you're running a business from home like I do. Like that is my job. You don't need Wi-Fi. We need money because we need to pay bills, because we need certain things. So I'm not talking about that time that you're putting in with your job, because that's a necessity. I'm talking about the extra time that you're putting in because you need the $350 car payment. You need all the newest clothes. You need the newest iPhone every time it comes out. The extras. And again, I'm not saying those things are bad. I'm saying if you have time for all the extras, but then you don't have time for God, you love money because you're putting money over God and you're putting money over your family. Now, if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you're still working all the overtime, you either have things that you don't need, you mismanage your money, or you don't make enough money. Guess what? I can help with that third one. Shameless plug. I work from home for a reason, and I don't make $8 an hour anymore. So just a shameless plug in there. The third thing is, does it monopolize your effort? Now, this again is a tricky one because we all have to get up and go to work, right? And again, I say that like I work from home. I still have to get up and do work. Okay, I still put in the effort. But I'm going to use a standard 9 to 5 right now. And this is just like going to be like a super dumbed down, very simple way to tell. Don't answer this out loud, but how many of y'all got up, read your Bible, and prayed this morning? It's Friday, so most of y'all had to go to work. Most of y'all are going to use the excuse, I didn't have time because I had to go to work. So let's say Monday through Friday, you have to be work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I know a lot of you have to be earlier, but again, I'm just generalizing. I need help with budgeting. Girl, don't look at my Hobby Lobby receipts. I don't budget very well either. I just make more money. Like, not more money than you. I'm saying I just consistently try to make more money because my husband and I have a deal. I get a percentage of all of my bonuses to nope. Go play in your room. I get a percentage of all of my bonuses that I can go spend on whatever I want. And yeah, so that's like a huge incentive for me to like work super hard because I get more shopping money. Again, super selfish, but that's how we have our budget set up is the harder I work and the more effort I put in, the more money I get to go spend. So I'm not the person to talk to about budgeting. I'm the person to talk to about making extra money, not about budgeting. My husband's a better budgeter than I am, to be honest with you. But anyways, all that to say, so Monday through Friday, let's say you get up at 7 o'clock to be at your job at 8 o'clock. Okay, and you use the excuse of, well, I have kids, so I can't go to bed earlier, can't get up earlier, don't have time to read my Bible. However, Saturday and Sunday, you also don't read your Bible and pray because you want to sleep in. So your effort to go make that money is much greater than your effort to try to get closer with God. And again, yeah, you do have to treat yourself. But again, that's how you tell if you love money. Now, I will tell you, there was a time when I was working 60 hours a week. I had to leave my house at 6 o'clock every single morning, drop my daughter off at daycare at 6:30, be at work at 7. I was getting up at 4 to be able to do my devotions before I went off to work. And that's not a pat on the back to me. That's because I knew God was not blessing my efforts if I did not at least try to have a relationship with him. There were plenty of days I overslept. There were plenty of times that I kind of hurried through it because I really wasn't feeling it. Like, I definitely spend more time now, but it starts somewhere. And my pastor used to say, when I was in college, he used to say, if you only have time to call your mom 15 minutes a day, she would rather you call her for 15 minutes than not call her at all. Yes, she would love to talk to you for an hour. Like, I was in Indiana, my mom was in New Mexico. So if you're watching this from Canada or watching the replay from Australia, because I know a lot of y'all do, you don't know the states, that is about a 12-hour, just kidding, about a 22-hour drive. So a lot of miles. She'd love to talk to you for an hour a day. But if you don't have time for an hour, she'd rather you talk to her for 10 or 15 minutes than just not talk to her at all because you didn't have time for that hour. God's the same way. Okay, he would love to talk to you. He would love for you to spend an hour talking to him, 2 hours talking to him. But he would rather you talk to him for 15 minutes than not talk to him at all and just write it off as, oh, just didn't have time today. We all have time for what's important to us. I'm getting spanked today. Jesus has a funny way of doing that. So do you love money? The third thing I want you to write down is when you see somebody with a whole lot of money, I'm talking extra. Like, he has girl, I don't even know cars. I'm trying to think of something luxurious. I can't. He has a super nice car. Like, whatever drop me down some nice cars. Drop me down in the comments. When you think of a real nice car, what do you think? They got the super nice car. They have super awesome clothes. Their kids are decked out to the nines. They're always, I'm not talking about like the fake Instagram lifestyles. I'm talking like, this person has money. They're always talking about how they are going different places and Disney and cruises and not now because coronavirus. Just kidding. That just felt like it needed to be put in there. But they're always going different places. What do you automatically think about them? A Lambo. Yeah, that's a good one. I don't even know what a Lambo looks like, but my husband talks about him. He's getting one of these days. Audi 8, what the heck, A8? Sure. Lexus. Tesla. Ooh, I want a Tesla. I'm getting a Tesla. I'm not. I want a truck. I don't even care about all that stuff. It sounds nice until I'm like, Tesla, Ford truck. I'm taking the truck. Like, I don't even care about the car. It's way nicer, but I don't care. Okay, so if you automatically think negative thoughts when you think of someone that has a lot of money, and I used to think this, guys, if I saw someone that had money, my automatic thoughts were, oh, it was handed to them. They had better luck than I did. Probably it's family money that was just like, what do you call it? Trust fund babies. They're greedy. They're selfish. They don't take care of their kids. They probably are a lousy wife. Like, I thought all of those things. Okay, I'm just going to shamelessly tell you that right now because I had the crappiest money mindset probably ever of anybody that I know. And I know a lot of it is because how I grew up. My roots in money were awful because we never had any. And I always was basically taught, even if it was subliminally, that if you had money, you probably did something bad to get there. Okay? Now, if on the other side, so again, write down your thoughts. If you come in contact with a person that has a lot of money, what are your thoughts? On the other side, if your thoughts are, man, they must be a really hard worker. They must be pretty frugal, good with their money. That's why they have so much of it. They must be diligent. They must be disciplined. You have a good money mindset. And I'm going to use the illustration. I read this in The Millionaire Mind, and I just loved this. The guy was talking, and I don't remember his name, how he used to have a really bad money mindset. And he was saying that for a long time, he automatically assumed people that had money were not good people. And he said it was brought to his attention, the town that they lived in, there was like a real ritzy area where all the houses were $500,000 or more. So these people weren't like rich, right? But they had money. Like, they drove nice cars, their kids were in private schools. They had decent lives, decent incomes. I need to stop reading your comments. I'm getting distracted. And he said, the guy told him, he said, go knock on every one of those doors. Ask them how they are paying for their house. What kind of work do they do? Every one of those people are honest, good, hardworking people that work their butts off for their money and make good choices. We, a lot of the times, think that money is bad because we don't have it. And we grew up with so many people that don't have money that were pretty good people that we just assume all good people are broke all the time. And that's not the case. Okay, we are a product of our choices. Plain and simple. And I'm speaking to the choir here. Like, I'm speaking, not to the choir, I'm speaking to myself because we were broke for so many years, and absolutely it was a product of our choices. Now, some were out of ignorance. We just didn't know any better. Some, we were very close-minded on a few things, including the business that we're in now. Like, we were very close-minded, borderline lazy, and that was us. I'm not saying any of this applies to you if you're watching this and you're broke. I'm saying you have to find the reason. You have to find the choices that they're making you have the circumstances that you have right now. Some of it is going to be compound, meaning it was one choice maybe 10 years ago that you're still reaping the bad consequences for. And again, I'm not judging anyone. I have made probably the worst choices out of anyone watching this. All I'm saying is when you take ownership, the freedom comes, and then you slowly, and I'm saying slowly, y'all, this does not change overnight. We just got, now keep in mind, I've been in this business for 4 years. I've been married for, how old is my kid? Married for almost 7. Y'all had to extra think about that. We just now bought our first home, just now repaired my husband's credit and got mine to, or at least it wasn't bad. It's still not good, but it's not bad. And it took a lot of years of hard work. It took us not giving up on ourselves. It took us not giving up on our dreams. It took me, when I was first started doing this business, I was working full time, y'all. I was not a stay-at-home mom that had the luxury of my husband paying all my bills while I took care of the house and the kids, and I could just work this business. I was already working full time. I was a new mom. I was already trying to wear all the hats and do all the things, and I knew I could not give up on this, so I kept my butt going Plain and simple. So, all that to say, the devotion that kind of ties all of this in together, and I use the word devotion very lightly. I was doing my devotions this morning and it jumped out at me, so call it whatever you want, but that's kind of what sparked all of this. I was reading in Matthew, and y'all, you're going to laugh. This is what we would call a preacher Bible when I was in college. One, I'm partially blind, so everything I read has to be big print. But this is actually, it's called the Life Application Bible. I got this for Christmas from Janice, actually, who's on here. Or not on here probably, but she's probably watching the replay. And so it has, I would highly recommend this if you're looking to get into a deeper Bible study. It just has a lot of practical stuff underneath the actual Bible text. So anyways, this sparked because I was reading in Matthew 6. And that's going to read it straight from the Bible, because what better place to read it? You know, making up my own words or whatever. It says, "Take heed that ye do not your alms before men, to be seen of them, otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven." Now, I used to always think that that text meant if I gave any money or did anything good, I was never allowed to tell anybody about it. But reading it in context, that verse is not talking about the act of giving money. It's talking about I wrote down the word because I knew I would forget this. 1 minute. Talking about the motive behind the giving. Jesus was very clear, which means God is very clear. He does not want us giving money or doing good deeds just so other people praise us. That is a very bad motive behind the reason to give. Now, I'm not going to lie. Again, I'm not saying you're never going to feel that way. One of the huge... Now, again, that's also not saying that you're never allowed to do anything and tell people about it. One of the reasons that I give so much to other people is because I want to inspire other people to give to other people. If I keep it a secret, guess how many people are going to be inspired by my act? That's a 0, y'all. Nobody. Because nobody knows. Now, I do a mix of all three. There are times where I give or I do something and I will shout it out to everybody and basically say, this is a great way to give back. Now y'all go do it too. There are times that I will only tell 1 or 2 people because they need to be told, as in like that's who I'm needing to deliver the money or whatever. And so I do the act in secret to the person receiving it, but like the person delivering it knows. I don't know if that makes sense. I might be confusing y'all. Because it's necessary. And then there are times I do it completely in secret to keep my own heart in check. Because I don't ever want to get back to the point, because again, I've been there. I don't want to ever get back to the point where I'm giving solely because I want people to praise me. Okay, so you kind of got to have a mix of all three in there if you want to inspire people, but also keep yourself in check, because we are a selfish people. We just are. Humans are selfish in general, or by nature is a better term. We're selfish by nature. So we're prideful by nature, right? We like people to tell us how great we are. Drop me down a dang heart in here in the comments. Don't hit the heart button. Drop a heart emoji. If you like when people tell you that your hair looks nice, your face looks nice, your clothes look nice, like you have a pretty singing voice. If you like to be told nice things about yourself, and y'all, every one of y'all should be dropping comments down because we all like it, that's not a bad thing, right? But if you're only doing things so they'll tell you, like my daughter, we had to work on her. Let me tell y'all, we had to work on her. For a long time, she would tell people, I really like your hair, and they would say thank you. Do you like my hair? Glory, do not ask them that. I really like your dress, and they would say thank you. And then she'd wait a couple seconds. Do you like my dress? Girl, stop asking. Like, that's not how we do things. So anyways, that goes back to the very first question that I had y'all write down of the why do you give? Again, that's a heart check that has nothing to do, like I can't look at you and see most of the time. We probably all know that one person that, do you like my dress? Like I know a couple adults like that, but most of us are not like that. So you have to really heart check when you get to the point where you're able to give a lot. You really have to heart check and like make sure you're doing it for the right reason. And then the last thing I want to tell you is, that goes back to money mindset. So that kind of tied it all together. I do want to read. It says, lay up Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Basically, now there's a couple parts to that. I'm just going to touch on one. The moth and rust doth corrupt. Y'all, we cannot take none of this stuff with us. So when God blesses and God gives in abundance, give it to people. Like, there ain't no point in hoarding it. There's an old song talking about how you can't take it with you in a hearse. I think it's either an old, like, Southern gospel song or maybe an old country song even. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that. Probably not. I'm probably that sounded extra crazy. But legit, like, you ain't gonna take it with you to the grave, so you might as well use it to bless people while you're here. My coach, Ray Higdon, talks about how money does not make a person bad or good. Yeah, still Matthew 6. All of this is from Matthew 6. All of this was from the one verse I read the one chapter I read this morning, and like so many things flooded to me. I took so many notes. So every single one of us are either a good person or a bad person. Money does not change that. All money does is magnify what is already inside of you. If you naturally are a greedy, little selfish, little nobody wants to talk to you because you have your nose stuck so far in the air that you can't see the people in front of you, money is just going to make you more greedy, more selfish, more stuck up, more hoity-toity. I don't even know. Like, nobody going to want to be around you. If you're already a person who you give everything that you have to other people, you're constantly blessing others. Hold on. You're constantly doing things to inspire people. All money does is make you a freaking way more awesome human being than you already are, because it gives you more resources to bless more people. Guys, I've talked about this. One thing that I love doing is I love taking moms out and spoiling them. Now, clearly, I can't do that in secret, right? Like, I can't stick a paper bag over my head like, I don't want to tell you who I am, but I want to take you and get a pedicure with you. Like, that'd be stupid. But I also don't do it because I want all their friends to think I'm such an awesome person. Like, I think, now, some y'all men watching may not agree, but I think being a mom is one of the hardest jobs in the world, and I've worked a lot of crappy jobs. Guys, now I don't think that we work harder than our husbands do. I think it's kind of an even thing. Like, I do work a job, but I work full-time from home. So I work sun up to sundown, either working or homeschooling or doing dishes. Like, I work, but it's all in one category. My husband also works while he's at work. So I don't think it's fair for us both to get up at the same time, both work for 12 hours, and then him to come home and me be like, oh, my day was so hard. Here's the kids. I need to go have me time. Like, what the heck? We just both worked a 12-hour shift. We just did different things. Now, I do think that moms, it's very easy for us to be underappreciated because we don't have coworkers and we don't have a boss that are giving us recognition. And if you are a yellow personality, you thrive off the recognition. So that, I think, is where that misconception comes that stay-at-home moms are not appreciated. No, you are. You just don't have all of the people around you that give you the verbal appreciation. You have one person, and that's your husband. They're probably not going to tell you, hey, honey, thanks for doing the dishes every single day like we want to hear it. So all that to say, that was a rant that did not even need to be said, but I'm so passionate about this. Like, I think our husbands are underappreciated, if I'm being honest. I think husbands in general of stay-at-home wives, stay-at-home moms, get underappreciated because we turn it so much on us and how much work we're doing and don't realize our husband just worked the same shift we did. He just did a different job. Like, we both deserve me time when we get home. We're both not going to get it, but it definitely shouldn't always be the wife pawning the kids off on the husband as soon as he walks in the door. Like, we both just worked a really hard shift. This is where we need to come together and have a little family time, maybe each take a little bit of alone time, and then enjoy each other. Anyways, all that to say. But I do love spoiling moms because I do think that it is very easy to get discouraged as a mom, day in and day out, putting in long hours and hard work when seemingly because I don't think it's true. I think it's in our mind. Seemingly, nobody appreciates it. So, all that to say, guys, thank you so much for hopping on. I absolutely love doing these. Like, these light my passion and light my fire doing these journaling sessions with you guys. And I also realize when I get passionate, I talk super fast. So you probably did not catch half of what I said. But thank you guys for hopping on. I hope you have an awesome rest of your, what is this, Friday?
Friday.
We are going to get ready and head off to the gym. So talk to you guys later.